Sunday Gospel reading, Syro-Malabar Rite, Luke chapter 18, verses 1 to 8. Then Jesus told them a parable about their need to pray always and not to lose heart. He said, in a certain city there was a judge who neither feared God nor had respect for people. In that city there was a widow who kept coming to him and saying, "Grant me justice against my opponent." For a while he refused, but later he said to himself, "Though I have no fear of God and no respect for anyone, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will grant her justice, so that she may not wear me out by continually coming." And the Lord said, "Listen to what the unjust judge says. And will not God grant justice to his chosen ones who cried to him day and night? Will he delay long in helping them? I tell you, he will quickly grant justice to them. And yet, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth?" Word be with you. Luke chapter 18, verses 1 to 8. The parable of the importunate widow that we find in today's Gospel passage in Luke chapter 18 is one meant to show that the God we believe in is a listening God. Of the four evangelists, Luke is the one who most insists on the place of prayer in the life of Jesus and also on the disciples' need to pray always. Like many of his parables, this as well is a brief but vivid story, very human and somewhat amusing. The parable is told of a widow who is both in need of justice and a persistent pleader. Before her is a judge with no fear of God and no sensitivity to how his actions are perceived by his community. He is shameless, as he himself admits, as one with no fear of God and no respect for people. Yet he recognizes that this widow may wear him out. More literally, this boxing term means to give someone a black eye, and has the figurative meaning to blacken someone's face, that is, to shame them. Now, how ironic it is that a judge who admits having no fear of God and no respect for anyone senses the botheration and embarrassment this widow might bring upon him by her continually coming. Finally, he grants her justice against her opponent. The reasoning of the parable is that if the lesser case is true, that a widow without an advocate can win over a shameless judge, how much more is true the greater case, that those chosen ones who cry out to a sensitive God will be heard and vindicated. The widow's case in the parable shows for sure that God's mercy will come at last to his elect, even if it is delayed. If the widow in the parable is a stranger, God's praying people are his own chosen ones whom he knows and loves. The widow is only one, but the praying people of God are many. Saints on earth besiege the throne of grace with their united prayers. She comes to a judge that bids her keep her distance. We come to a Father who bids us come boldly to him. She comes to an unjust judge. We come to a righteous Father. She comes to this judge purely upon her own account, but God is himself engaged in the cause of which we are soliciting. She has no friend to speak for her, but we have an advocate with the Father, his own Son, who ever lives to make intercession for us. She has no encouragement given her to ask, but we have a promise that it shall be given to us. She can have access to the judge only at some certain times, but we may cry to God day and night, at all hours. Her importunity is provoking to the judge, but our importunity is pleasing to God, and therefore we may hope shall avail much if it is an effectual fervent prayer. Notwithstanding all these, there is the final question in today's Gospel text. And yet, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? The question implies a strong negation. No, he will not. He himself foresees it. When Christ comes, he will find but little faith. He may find many that have the form and fashion of godliness, but few that have real faith that is sincere and honest. And therefore many of his chosen ones will begin to be weary of waiting for him. This implies that faith is not automatic, nor is it given forever if it is not nourished. Faith grows and matures through prayer as well as through the practice of justice that is asked of God. Faith is a gift, and it is also a task.